Imagine this. You turn away from your child for like 2 seconds to grab something from a shelf.
Yeah.
And when you look back, they're just gone.
Or you step inside your house for just a minute, maybe get a drink, and when you come back out, your toddler's vanished from a fenced-in lawn.
Right. For thousands of parents, these aren't just, terrifying what ifs. They're the actual devastating reality.
Yeah, absolutely chilling.
How does someone disappear so fast, leaving almost no trace? It really makes you think about how fragile things are.
It does. And these cases, they present huge challenges for investigators. Really extraordinary challenges, way beyond what you might typically imagine. They really show how different situations, a busy park, a quiet home, each create these unique, often really perplexing hurdles for the investigation.
Yeah.
The speed they vanish and the immediate lack of, well, clear evidence. It means every step is an uphill battle right from the start.
So today we're doing a deep dive into 10 devastating missing child cases that remain unsolved. This comes from a really interesting list-first article. Our mission really is to journey through these real-life mysteries. We want to pull out the key facts, any surprising twists, and try to understand why they're still baffling investigators after all this time.
Giving you a shortcut to being informed without getting totally overwhelmed by all the info out there.
Exactly. So let's start with a case that immediately sets a pretty chilling tone.
Right.
This is 4-year-old Jeremiah Huscher. He vanished from a playground in the Bronx, June 25th, 1985.
Okay, 1985.
His mother was watching him play from her apartment window just before she went to the shops. She assumed his grandmother, who was his legal guardian, would keep an eye on him.
Right, a handover.
But when the grandmother called him inside later, Jeremiah was gone.
Just like that.
And what makes this one particularly unsettling is what other kids reported. They said they saw a man actually call Jeremiah by his name, then grab him and just walk off.
Being called by name, that suggests, well, it suggests either a pre-existing connection or maybe a targeted abduction.
Right.
Both are deeply disturbing thoughts. And, from an investigative angle, relying on child witnesses, especially decades later, like in Jeremiah's case, that's a huge challenge.
I can imagine. Memories fade, right?
Exactly. Memories are fallible, especially traumatic ones or things seen really quickly. Getting precise details or reliable descriptions years down the line is incredibly difficult. Makes finding someone almost impossible sometimes.
So what were the theories? Do they have any leads?
Well, his mother believed an ex-boyfriend might have taken him. Police, on the other hand, considered the awful possibility that he might have been sold.
Sold. Oh, God.
Yeah. But ultimately, the investigation just stalled. There were no solid leads to follow. And Jeremiah, if he's alive today, he'd be 43 years old.
43. Wow. Okay, our next case takes us back even further. September 17th, 1966.
Okay.
2-year-old Diane Prevost. She disappeared from Grundy Lake Provincial Park in Ontario.
A toddler in a park setting.
Oh.
Always terrifying.
She was playing in the sand. Apparently, she was quite scared of water, unlike her siblings. Her dad was fishing nearby. She asked to go back to the family trailer, which was about 500 feet away. He asked her to wait just a few minutes, maybe finish casting or something. But when he looked back, she was gone.
Vanished again. In minutes.
The family searched immediately, of course. Then they called the OPP, the Ontario Provincial Police. They launched this huge search, the lake, the park, the whole surrounding area for over a month.
A massive effort.
What really stands out here, though, is how hope can endure, but also how cruelly false leads can pop up decades later.
Oh, definitely. It's quite fascinating how these really cold cases, decades old, can suddenly burst back into the news.
Yeah.
Even if the developments turn out to be, well, heartbreakingly false.
What happened in Diane's case?
So, get this. In 2018, almost 58 years later, a woman named Mary Belonger made headlines. She claimed she was Diane.
No way. After all that time.
Yeah. She claimed she'd been kidnapped, basically to replace another child who had died. A whole story.
So was it her?
Sadly, no. DNA tests were done, and they completely disproved her claims.
Oh, that's just awful for the family, I mean.
It really is. This phenomenon, people falsely claiming to be missing persons, it's unfortunately not that uncommon. It just adds layers of complexity and, frankly, immense emotional pain for families. That brief flash of hope, then snatched away again.
And Diane herself.
Never found. Still missing.
Okay, let's move to a case that, well, it takes a really horrifying and complicated turn. Lucy Rebecca Meadows.
Okay, Lucy Meadows.
July 25th, 1996. She disappeared from the Rivergate Mall parking lot in Tennessee.
A mall parking lot, another place you think should be relatively safe.
Her mother, Young, was helping Lucy out of the car, driver's side. Then she went around to the passenger side to get some parcels. When she turned back, Lucy was gone.
Just gone. In seconds.
Initial leads, like witnesses seeing a brown minivan, they just went nowhere. But then the investigation started uncovering some, well, deeply alarming details about Young, the mother herself.
And this is where things get incredibly complicated, right? When the focus shifts from a stranger to maybe someone inside the family.
Exactly. What did they find out?
Well, it turned out Young had apparently often left Lucy's 11-year-old brother home alone. And Lucy herself had actually been found before, wandering alone in the neighborhood, crying.
Oh, wow. That's concerning.
Very. And then Young and her husband divorced just a month after Lucy disappeared. Her husband, Tom, was pretty vocal. He believed Young's friend, Tammy D., was involved somehow.
And Young.
She stopped cooperating with the police. Changed her story multiple times, first saying Lucy was out of sight for seconds, then maybe 10 minutes. She failed 2 polygraph tests and then refused to give any more statements.
Doesn't sound good.
No. That lack of cooperation, especially from a parent, it just creates huge problems for investigators trying to piece things together. It can leave them completely stuck.
And the story gets even darker, doesn't it?
It does. In 2004, an unnamed family member, someone who passed a polygraph, by the way, came forward. He stated he saw Lucy at her parents' house the night before she was reported missing. And he said she looked dead.
Looked dead? What does that even mean?
It's horrifying. He also said he heard adults, including her mother, shouting Lucy's name and screaming for a Bible that night.
Screaming for a Bible? This is wow.
I know, incredibly disturbing testimony. But despite all that, no grand jury investigation was ever initiated.
Why not? With a statement like that.
It's baffling, but perhaps not enough corroborating evidence or issues with the testimony itself. It's hard to say from the outside. The bottom line is Lucy remains missing. And there's been no real progress in proving her mother's involvement despite these very dark clouds.
Unbelievable. Okay, next up. Lisa Renee Irwin, just 10 months old.
A baby. Oh, no.
Taken from her home in Missouri either October 3rd or 4th, 2011.
Very recent compared to some others.
Her father, Jeremy, got home around 4 a.m., found the front door wide open, most lights were on, a window was broken, and Lisa's crib was empty.
4 in the morning. That's chilling. Where was the mother?
Her mother, Deborah, was asleep. She claims she checked on Lisa around 10:30 the night before.
Okay. Any immediate leads?
There were 2 witnesses who reported seeing a man walking down the street actually holding a baby in the middle of the night.
That sounds promising.
It did, but that lead just went cold. Dead end.
So again, focus shifts.
Seems like it, especially when you hear the other details. Deborah admitted she'd been drinking quite a bit that night.
Okay.
And she could only really remember seeing Lisa around 6:30 p.m. before she started drinking, not the 10:30 she initially claimed.
That's a discrepancy.
And then the cadaver dogs.
Oh. They brought them in on October 19th, and they got a hit in Deborah's bedroom, right near her bed.
A cadaver dog hit in the mother's bedroom.
Yes. Which, in cases with no body, that kind of circumstantial evidence becomes incredibly significant.
I bet. Was there anything else?
Deborah also made a really strange statement. She says she didn't look for Lisa immediately when she realized she was gone because she was scared of what she might find.
Scared of what she might find, instead of panic and searching everywhere.
Exactly. It struck investigators as very odd. Yeah. All these things together, the drinking, the Mary issue, the dog hit, that statement, it understandably fueled strong police suspicion towards her.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting, though. The phones. 3 cell phones were reported missing from the house, and one of them showed a 50-second call made around midnight that night.
A call from a missing phone. Who made it?
That's the mystery. Both parents denied making the call. It was eventually traced to a woman in Kansas City, Megan Wright.
Okay, so they found who received it.
They found her number, yeah. But she denied ever answering the call. And get this, she once dated a transient guy who became a person of interest in the case.
So a possible connection there, if they could figure out who actually made the call from the missing phone.
Exactly. Police believe confirming the caller could be the key to unlocking the whole thing.
A digital breadcrumb trail.
And one more twist. In 2012, Deborah and Jeremy told police their debit card had been used.
Used how?
on what they called a dodgy website, one that offered fake birth certificates.
Fake birth certificates. Why would they need that? Or who would use their card for that?
Right. The police confirmed the website existed. It just adds another layer of strangeness to an already bizarre case.
Absolutely bizarre. So where does it stand now?
The case is still open. Lisa's parents say they remain hopeful, but so many unanswered questions.
Definitely. So many threads hanging.
Okay, let's move over to Canada now. Tamara Keepness, 5 years old.
Tamara Keepness, okay.
She vanished from her home in Regina on July 6, 2004. She's actually one of over 50,000 children reported missing in Canada every year. Most are found, thankfully.
But not Tamara.
Sadly, no. The day before she disappeared, July 5th, her parents, Lorena and Dean, had an argument. Dean left with a friend.
Okay, family tension.
Lorena put Tamara and her 5 siblings to bed. Tamara shared a room with 2 brothers. Then Lorena left to visit a friend. She apparently came back home briefly to tell her 10-year-old daughter, Summer, that she'd call with her friend's number. Lorena claimed she called around midnight.
So the mother wasn't home for part of the night.
Right. Then, sometime in the early hours, one of Tamara's older siblings felt her get up from the bed they shared, but didn't think much of it, maybe thought she was going to the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
By 9 a.m. the next morning, when Tamara's grandmother arrived, she was missing.
Gone from the house.
Yeah. And this case is just... It's profoundly heartbreaking how deep family issues seem to compound the tragedy.
That's often a critical factor, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ongoing family problems, especially involving child welfare, can really affect how an investigation is perceived and how it progresses.
What happened with the investigation and the family?
Well, despite getting around 2,000 tips, police never found Tamara. Then, just 2 weeks after she vanished, her father Dean was arrested for assaulting the friend he'd been with that night. Police said it was unrelated to Tamara, but still.
Yeah, not a good look.
And just 2 days after Tamara disappeared, all her siblings were removed from the home by Child Protection Services.
All of them? Wow.
Yeah. And Lorena, the mother, she never regained full custody of any of her children. Even 3 kids she had later were also taken into care by child welfare.
That's just a cycle of tragedy.
It truly is. Lorena actually died in 2023, never knowing what happened to her daughter.
Oh, that's terrible. And the case?
Still cold. No new leads. It's a prime example of how a difficult home environment, even if not directly causal, can really cloud the investigation and make finding answers even harder.
That's a sad story. Okay, next, let's go to Florida. Immokalee Aji-Desire.
Aji-Desire. Okay.
6 years old, disappeared from his grandmother's house, January 10th, 2009.
Another one from home or near home.
His mother had left him at his grandmother's. Around 5:15 p.m., the grandmother watched him go outside to play with other kids. Less than 30 minutes later, he was gone.
30 minutes. So fast.
What really adds to the urgency and the tragedy here is Aji's vulnerability. He had a mental disability that made him almost nonverbal.
Oh, that makes it so much harder.
Yeah. He was apparently afraid of strangers and would often hide if he got scared. Police took his disappearance extremely seriously because of this vulnerability.
Understandably. Searching for a nonverbal child, especially one who might hide when scared. The challenges are immense. It completely changes how you approach the search and investigation.
How so?
Well, his inability to call for help or tell someone what happened, it makes those first few hours even more critical. You're relying almost entirely on eyewitnesses and immediate observations.
Did they have any theories early on?
Initially, police suspected a family member might have taken Aji to Haiti, where his father lived. But they never found any proof, and no family members were ever charged.
So what do they think now?
The belief now is generally that he either wandered off and got lost, maybe hid somewhere and couldn't be found, or he was abducted by a stranger.
He disappeared from a tight-knit, gated community, right?
That's right. Which makes investigators believe someone must have seen something relevant, but nothing concrete has ever emerged.
Was there a recent tip? I thought I read something.
There was. In 2023, a tip came in about someone possibly seeing Aji in Texas. But unfortunately, it amounted to nothing.
Another false hope.
Seems so.
Right.
It really highlights how vital community cooperation is and how frustrating it is when leads dry up in what seems like a contained environment. He remains missing.
Okay, Montana now. June 25th, 1983. Nylene K. Marshall, 4 years old.
Nylene Marshall, 1983. Okay.
She vanished from a picnic at a Helena National Forest campground, playing with other kids near a creek.
Another outdoor setting.
Some of the children later told her parents they saw Nylene talking to a man. He was wearing a purple jogging suit.
Okay, a description.
And he apparently asked her if she wanted to play a game called Follow the Shadow.
Follow the shadow. That sounds incredibly sinister.
Right. The kid said they walked ahead a bit, turned around, and Eileen and the man were just gone.
Chilling. Just chilling. Did that lead anywhere?
Not immediately, but this case gets even stranger, years later.
How so? More than 2 years after she vanished, November 1985, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children got a phone call.
From who?
A man claiming he'd taken Eileen.
Claiming responsibility.
Yes. Then, 2 months after that, Child Find of America received a typed letter, presumably from the same guy. Again, claiming he'd abducted her, saying he wouldn't return her, and mentioning disturbing acts with her.
Oh my God. That's horrifying.
It gets worse. He mentioned traveling to several locations with Eileen in the letter, and these locations actually matched some reported sightings of a girl resembling her.
So it seemed credible. Or parts of it.
Credible enough to be deeply disturbing and warrant serious investigation. Over the next 6 months, the organization got 2 more letters and 2 more phone calls from him.
Were they able to trace him?
The FBI traced the calls to phone booths, one in Madison, Wisconsin, one in Edgerton, Wisconsin. But after that, the calls just stopped. His identity was never discovered.
Wow. Communication from the supposed kidnapper years later than just silence.
Exactly. And Eileen's case was featured on the original Unsolved Mysteries back in 1990.
Did that help?
It actually led to a breakthrough in another missing child case. A viewer tip helped find a girl named Monica Bonilla. But sadly, nothing came of it for Eileen.
That's incredible. Helping another case, but not hers. Was there anything else? Confessions.
There was a false confession in 1991. A man named Richard James Wilson confessed to killing her, but he suffered from severe mental illness, and there was 0 evidence linking him, just adding more confusion.
And more tragedy for the family, too, right?
Yes, tragically. In 1995, Eileen's mother, Nancy, was murdered in Mexico. Police don't believe it's linked to Eileen's disappearance, but that case also remains unsolved.
Just layer upon layer of unresolved grief for that family. Unimaginable.
Truly, Eileen remains missing. The calls, the letters, the false leads. It shows the immense complexity of managing information over decades.
Okay, let's go to Europe. Pitchoff, Slovakia. Lubos Bednar.
Lubos Bednar, Slovakia. Okay.
5 years old. Disappeared August 27th, 1988. He was playing in a sandpit near his apartment building with his older brother, Stanislav.
Right near home.
Around noon, their mother called them both in for lunch. She saw both of them outside, but only Stanislav came in.
Where was Lubos?
Stanislav just said Lubos had gone behind the building. Their father immediately went out to search, but found no trace.
Gone in minutes? Again. What made this one tricky?
Well, right away, there were conflicting witness reports, which can really hamper an investigation in those crucial early hours.
How so? What did they say?
One witness claimed they saw Lubos getting into a car. Another witness said they saw him alone on a train.
A car and a train. Those are very different scenarios.
Exactly. Neither claim led anywhere useful, just created confusion and possibly sent police down the wrong paths initially.
Yeah, that can waste critical time.
And
did anything else happen?
Years later, in 2003, there was this huge potential breakthrough, or what seemed like one.
What was it?
Investigators heard about a young man in South Africa. His name was Happy Sindane.
Happy Sindane.
Yeah. He claimed he'd been kidnapped as a child, kept as a slave, but remembered living with his real family before that. Police thought, maybe, just maybe, this could be Lubos.
Wow. International case connection. That must have generated huge hope.
Immense hope. It highlights how these international claims can pop up and suddenly offer a potential answer, but also how devastating it is when they fall apart.
So he wasn't Lubos?
No. Happy Sindane was sadly exposed as having fabricated his story. And tragically, he was found dead 10 years after that whole saga.
Oh, goodness. So just another painful dead end for Lubos' family.
Precisely. Lubos is still missing. The case is cold. Those conflicting early reports and the later false hope just underscore the difficulties.
Okay, next case, Inga Gerica. This one feels particularly frustrating because of a potential link that was dismissed.
Inga Gerica, Germany. Okay.
5 years old.
Yeah.
Disappeared May 2, 2015, so relatively recent.
2015, yeah. Where did she disappear from? From woods near a family barbecue in Wilhelmshaven, Germany. Around 6 p.m., she went into the woods with some other kids to gather twigs for a campfire.
Okay, playing with other children.
Minutes later, the other kids came back without her. They said they saw her gathering twigs, but then didn't know where she went. They insisted they didn't see anyone else in the woods.
Just vanished from the group.
Police were called immediately. Massive search for 4 days, dragging ponds, using dogs, everything. On May 7th, it officially became a criminal investigation, and the active search was called off.
So initial search found nothing. What happened then?
The case made national news, but police had 0 suspects, no leads, no sign of Inga. It was officially closed in 2019 due to the lack of leads.
Closed. Wow. But you mentioned a frustrating link.
Yes. In 2020, a name surfaced. Christian Bruckner.
The main suspect in the Madeleine McCann case.
The very same. It turned out he owned property only about 90 minutes away from the campsite where Inga disappeared.
Okay, that's proximity. Anything else?
Yes. He was involved in a minor car accident just an hour away from the forest the day before Inga vanished, placing him squarely in the area around the right time.
Wow. That seems significant.
And it's believed he might have been renovating a derelict factory near the campsite around the time she went missing.
Okay, proximity, timing, opportunity.
That sounds like a strong circumstantial link, especially given his background.
You'd think so. He's a convicted rapist.
Yeah.
And just recently, June 2024, news broke about an email account possibly linking him to Madeleine McCann's killing.
So a very serious person of interest in another high-profile case. What did the German prosecutors do regarding Inga?
This is the frustrating part. They officially ruled out Bruckner's involvement in Inga's case. Ruled him out, despite all those connections. Why? That's the question, isn't it? It raises important points about high-profile suspects and the burden of proof. Maybe the evidence wasn't strong enough for them. Maybe alibis checked out that weren't publicized. Authorities often need very specific direct evidence to formally link someone, especially when they might be facing charges elsewhere. But from the outside, it definitely feels like a missed opportunity or an unanswered question.
Absolutely. And has there been any progress since?
No. There was another 5-day search earlier in 2024, but nothing came of it. Inga remains missing, and that Bruckner connection just hangs there, unresolved.
So frustrating. Okay, our final case. William Terrell from Australia. This one is, well, it's shocking because of how the police theory evolved.
William Terrell, the boy in the Spider-Man suit. Yes, I remember this one.
3 years old. Vanished September 12, 2014 from his foster grandmother's house in Kendal, Australia.
Foster grandmother's house, okay.
After breakfast, he and his 5-year-old sister were playing hide and seek in the front and backyards. Both his foster mother and foster grandmother were watching them.
Right there. Seemingly supervised.
His foster mother went inside quickly to make tea. She heard William making noises, like roaring like a tiger, as he ran towards the side of the house. Then, silence.
Uh-oh.
After about 5 minutes of silence, she started to get worried. Went looking, couldn't find him. About half an hour later, after his foster father got back, she called emergency services. Police were there 9 minutes later.
So, a very quick response time.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing the Spider-Man suit, right? Very distinctive.
Extremely distinctive. You'd think that would make him easy to spot.
So what happened initially? Massive search.
Huge. Hundreds of police, emergency services, firefighters, community members searched for days, motorcycles, helicopters checking every house. 9 days later, nothing. No sign, no leads.
And the initial theory was abduction, wasn't it?
Yes.
Police investigated drivers of 2 cars seen parked nearby. William's foster family was initially cleared of any involvement. For 7 long years, the prevailing police theory was stranger abduction. Maybe sold into a pedophile ring.
That's horrific. Did they have suspects for that?
They looked into several people. A repairman, Bill Spedding, was named a person of interest, but later revealed to have been wrongly targeted. They identified a pedophile ring operating near Kendal in 2015 and pursued leads there. A $1 million reward was offered in 2016.
Still nothing solid.
Nothing. More searches in 2018 in the forest. Over 700 persons of interest identified over the years, 4,000 pieces of evidence collected, but no breakthrough on the abduction front.
Okay, so when did things start to shift?
An inquest started in 2019. His foster parents were questioned again. More searches in 2021 were unsuccessful. Then came the really dramatic turn.
What was it?
April 2022. William's foster mother was charged with giving false information about his disappearance.
Charged? After all that time believing the abduction theory?
Yes. She was actually found not guilty of that specific charge in November 2022. But the shift had happened.
What's the theory now?
The last real movement, as it was called, came in June 2023. Police recommended she be charged with interfering with a corpse.
Interfering with a corpse, so they think William is.
The current police belief is that William died accidentally, perhaps in a fall or some incident at the property, and that his foster mother covered it up by disposing of his body.
Wow. That is a complete reversal from the abduction theory. Do they have proof?
That's the issue. Concrete proof is still missing. No body has been found. It's an incredibly difficult case to prove without that.
And there have been other legal issues with the foster parents, too.
Yes. Both foster parents have since been convicted on charges of assaulting and intimidating another child under their care. They received 12-month good behavior bonds. They're expected to appeal those rulings in 2025.
So, a really complex and tragic situation all around. William is still missing, and the focus has completely changed.
It's a stark example of how investigations can pivot, sometimes drastically, from stranger danger to looking within the family, even years later. And it highlights the immense challenge of proving a cover-up without finding the victim.
Reflecting on all these cases, it's just staggering. From crowded playgrounds to family backyards, the common thread is a child vanishing in just a moment.
An unimaginable moment. The impact on the families. It's a void that never truly heals, isn't it? Despite that enduring hope, that love that never fades.
And you have to admire the tenacity of the investigators, too. Facing limited information, conflicting stories, false leads, years, sometimes decades of silence.
Absolutely. These aren't just case files or statistics. They are deeply personal tragedies that fundamentally alter lives.
These deep dives into the unknown, they really remind you how fragile that sense of security can be, how quickly everything can unravel.
They absolutely do. And they challenge us, I think, to consider not just the who or the how these children vanished, but the why. Why do these mysteries endure for decades? It leaves you with a lingering question, really.
What's up?
What does it truly mean for a case to be unsolved when, for the family left behind, hope never really fades? When is a case ever truly closed in their hearts?